Can you hear me now?
I can.
It's so weird. What was that? Okay.
Oh my gosh. New technology because I'm trying this StreamYard. So this is new for me. I don't know because now I can't use my microphone because once I plug in my microphone, I can't hear you.
Oh man.
I know. So here we are. But welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, y'all. So before we get started, I am going to put in the comment because not only do I do the Money Mondays, so this is the launch of Money Mondays, and y'all probably like, why is this today? It's Tuesday. So the goal is whomever comes on this channel, they're going to talk about passive income, ways to make money online, and then you're going to take what they give you, work on it to then make you some money by Monday. That is why I call it Monday Mondays, Money Mondays, and then we do it on Tuesday. In the comments, if you're new to my channel, if you're watching because of Miss Brown, I am Ebony. I am a licensed attorney out of the state of Missouri, and my channel focuses primarily on grants, but then I also want to transition to passive income because I do all things money in order for individuals to get to generational wealth. And this is one of the legs of that. I'm going to put in the comments because currently there are 2 active grants on my channel. There's more than 2. These are the ones that folks are really interested in. So one of them is like it takes you literally 30 seconds to apply for. And then the most recent one is if you're providing any type of in-home services, and in-home service can be lawn care, anything. If you're doing like mobile notary, anything that you are providing a service inside of someone's home, you would then potentially be eligible to get this grant. And this grant opportunity is for $10,000. And then the other grant opportunity is they increased the value. It was $2,750. Now it's $3,750. But that link is coming. Hopefully, I don't know where it's going to go, but I just told you, this is my first time using this. So hopefully that information is helpful. But Miss Brown,
yes,
you can just give us, your background, how you got here, all that good stuff.
I sure can. So my name is Dorcas Brown. I am the owner of Top Tier Financial and Business Solutions, and I just had a baby, so you will hear the baby in the background. So, how I got here is basically since I was 16, 18 years old, I've been in the business world, been in the financial world, whether it was in the accounting, building businesses, starting businesses, or assisting my parents with their business. That's pretty much where all of my skills comes from, all of my knowledge. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me. I've been doing it for over 15 years now. I actually enjoy it. I love it. I'm that weird person that when you come to and say, hey, what do you like about this job? I'm the person that says paperwork.
I'll push it off the heartbeat.
So that's where it all comes from. I really enjoy and love what I do. So my official title is financial and business strategist because I'm the person that comes in and helps you create the strategy and implement the strategy for your company.
Okay. Now, if you all don't know, so when I started YouTube 2 years ago now, so I probably had 100 subscribers because I had talked about it. But Dorothy was on the channel when I had about 200 to 300 subscribers, and she did all things taxes for me. So I appreciate that. Now I am at 33,700, almost 100K. And I thought it would only be right for her to come back for this inaugural. So this is the intro to Money Mondays. And
thank you.
I'm forever grateful because nobody was watching me.
I was watching.
Well, you ain't got enough subscribers, but you still came on the channel and gave a wealth of information. But what I want to start with is you said that you started doing taxes. Okay. How did you transition? Because I know you're still doing taxes. I'm not saying
I'm still doing taxes.
You're doing them. But how did you decide, like I'm doing taxes, but now I want to get into this digital world and somehow come up on six figures.
Really, so I got into it. I love taxes. That's not even a question. But I got into the digital world and doing classes and courses mainly because I'm a teacher at heart. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to teach others. Just didn't really know what to teach. I was going to be a math teacher, of course. But then I looked at the salary, and the salary was like, no,
it ain't
going to work for me. So I continued with what I'm currently doing now. And so because I'm a teacher at heart, I felt like it was my responsibility, a part of my responsibility to teach others, teach other business owners, teach other entrepreneurs what business really is, like the insides and the outsides of the business. But I wanted to do it at a reasonable price or a low price so that even new people that came into the field, they were still able to afford the classes to learn the tips and the strategies and the tricks that they needed in order to be a successful business owner. So truthfully, that's where it all came from. I'm an instructor at heart. I'm a teacher at heart. So yes, ma'am.
I mean, I know, but when people think about making money, right? And they do their courses, no one's going to say, you know what? I'm going to put forth all this energy and charge you $10 for this class. And then on the other side, you're at six figures. So when you were thinking about or strategizing ways to make money and you decide, okay, I want to figure out how I can make money online, how did you land on $10? Because that's nominal.
I know, like when I landed on $10, I don't even know how I landed on $10. It was just, all right, so I'm gonna do the classes for like $9.95 or $10. Because I don't really like putting round numbers. I'm not a round numbers person, but they were like $9.95, $10. And I came about $10 because it just seemed like, all right, so it's two sides to it. So it was just, all right, so I'm gonna do it just, so that people can access it. They can purchase multiple classes because I do have over 15 classes available. So I wanted to do it so that everybody could afford it. They could, jump into it. And if they couldn't afford, $50 or $100 classes per class, I know that's kind of high for newbies. And so I chose to do $10 that way they can afford all the classes for like $100. And
did you ever charge more than $10, or has it always been $10?
I did. At the beginning, it was like, exactly what you said. I ain't putting all this effort.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, girl.
I'm not about to put all of this effort into these classes for only $10 or only $12, $6. None of these prices. So initially they were $49.95 and up. They were all live classes. I do have more live classes coming, but they were all live classes, and where I actually taught everything in the class. So it was no simulations. It wasn't anything to where we're just reading a PowerPoint. I was actively teaching in all of the classes. And just from the feedback of it, everyone was very appreciative of the classes because none of them knew or heard of the information that I was providing, because there was like a lot of fraud and a lot of scamming going on in the business world. All right, so this is my 5-month-old. There was a lot of fraud and a lot of scamming going on in the business world, to where a lot of people were afraid to invest in their business, or they were just being told the wrong stuff. And because of that feedback, I just went ahead, I feel like it was like a holiday or something. And I dropped them down to like $10. No, I dropped it down to $20, and sales went crazy. I mean, sales were already good, but they went crazy. So then I just dropped it down to $10. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of these classes and I'm gonna do better classes. And so when I dropped it down to 10, sales went even more crazy. And so because of that, I just kept them at $10, and yeah, it just happen because the $10 wasn't just all right. So I'm about one $10 class.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a mind game, and so because of that mind game, people were purchasing the classes $10 a piece. They were purchasing them in bulk. So it was never a $10 sale. It was always a multi-class sale.
Okay. Now, how did you market that? Because I mean, I can put a $10 class on my site tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that folks are going to come and then they're going to purchase that course. So how did you decide, okay, it's $10, but then on the back end, what was your strategy to ensure that you would have clients?
So my strategy was to be well known in the fields that I was teaching. So you have to be, if someone is going to purchase something from you, whether it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 and some change, you have to have that know, like, and trust factor. So I definitely built that up with my initial classes. With the feedback that I got from the classes that I did that were at the higher rate, all of that feedback I poured out into the world to show that, yes, this class is definitely worth it. Because I did have people come back and like, I ain't paying for no $10 class. There's probably nothing in it. Because that's what you deal with. You basically pay for what you get. And so when people have that in mind, it's like a $10 class. There ain't gonna be nothing in there.
I mean, I've had that where you pay $10 for an ebook and it's like 4 pages, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're not really going to complain about the $10. You're just going to be frustrated that I just lost the $10 and there was absolutely no content attached to it.
Exactly. But it was the feedback that was given. Everyone enjoyed the classes. It was everyone would come out and say how interactive they were, how much information they received from the classes. So it was a huge feedback, was a huge impact on it, as well as other people referring me. So I had a lot of people I didn't even ask to be referred that would refer me for specific classes. And then once they saw one class, they would then purchase the rest of the classes. So it's kind of like a trickle down method.
So when you said you established yourself in the field, like what are some things that you did to establish yourself so the online world would know that you existed? Oh, you're on mute.
So what I did was I always try to provide information. I try to educate people. That's my biggest thing. With any information, I'm a funny person also. So with any information that I share, I try to educate as much as possible. I try to debunk a lot of myths that are shared on social media. And I just try to give people information that they can actually digest. Because sometimes I can come out here and I can spit and start talking about cost of goods sold, or I can talk about assets, liabilities. I can talk about cost segregation and these types of things. But if you're not in the accounting field, you're not really going to know these words. You're going to be like, what is she talking about? Right. And so what I prefer to do is I like to break everything down so that you can digest it, and so that it'll make it easier for me to explain it also.
So when you're breaking information down, but where are you doing this at? Because how are people finding you to even know that this course exists? That is $10. And then after I find it, I know the cost. Now I'm going to purchase this course.
Yes. So people find me mainly through referrals. They find me through Google as well. On my Google business page, I have specific keywords such as tax classes, business classes, entrepreneurship. I have a lot of keywords on my website as well. On social media, I'm very active on Facebook, not as active on Instagram because I haven't figured it out yet.
It's a doozy.
So I'm very active on Facebook. I've had, if I'm not mistaken, I've had 2 viral posts on TikTok. And so I share my education and my knowledge on multiple social media platforms as much as I can. And then I have people that have previously taken my classes. They will in turn tell their friends about my classes off of social media, whether they're in a circle or they're meeting about certain things. And so it's kind of like, if you know somebody, I'm going to tell them. So referrals and through social media.
Now,
Mainly.
somebody was, let's say myself, I want to do a $10 class or a $20 class. I might want to double my money. What would you tell me that I need to do first though? Right? Because I can't have referrals yet because nobody knows that I exist. I'm just starting out. I'm a newbie. So I'm not going to have that bucket. What are some steps that I should take today in order to get myself to the level of referral sources of how I'm making my money?
Got you. So first and foremost, just like in any business, you can't sell something if people don't know you. If they don't know that you have this product, they don't know you have this knowledge, you can't sell it. So when you're selling classes, you're selling your knowledge. You're selling the knowledge that you have for other people to learn. On top of that, you want to make sure that it's information that they want to learn. You can't just go out and sell, let's say, an Eskimo on how to make ice. Like they already know how to make ice.
I like ice.
Now, if they know how to make that good ice, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But
I don't eat ice though.
So you have to first build that know, like, and trust, and that base of where you actually know what you're talking about. Like by telling people, by marketing yourself as what you're going to be teaching. It's kind of like the whole ebook era where everyone was selling a whole bunch of ebooks, but they couldn't explain themselves what was in that ebook. And I'm really big on not. I'm not going to teach you something that I know nothing about because I can't elaborate on it. And so if it's something you don't know, then you can't teach it. But if it's something that you do know, you can speak on it, you can talk about it, you can talk for days on it. And so that's what you're going to build on. You're going to start out by building that as you're building the back end of your business. You're going to start out with building the know, like, and trust factor for you to actually start selling these classes by creating educational posts on social media.
And I think that's key, right? Because there's so many, I don't even know the correct terminology, where individuals will buy some type of ebook for resale purposes, right? They'll spend whatever they spend and then they're just churning it out, but they can't even tell you if the information in that book is correct, right? If it's correct, if it's accurate, if there are nuances. And then, like you said, if somebody comes to them with questions, because currently I have 2 ebooks, right? But it took me months to write it because I'm writing from my knowledge base versus I went and purchased something and now I'm reselling it. And with that, that's how you, like you said, as far as the referrals, the reviews, if somebody reaches out with a question, I'm able to answer that question, right? If somebody leaves a review, they're leaving that review because you're over delivering. And I think that's one of the key things to take away as well is whatever you're selling, you have to make sure that you are over delivering what that client is expecting. Because I've spent well over 10 grand in my business alone, right? But anything that I've paid for, they have over delivered.
Exactly.
So I feel like there's added value and I'm going to want to buy more things. But if you sit and you think, well, I don't want to give them too much, right? Well, they only paid $20, so I'm just going to give you $20 worth, what I think $20 worth of content is, versus if they pay $20, you should be giving them $100.
Yeah.
You can start increasing those numbers, because if I have a $500 course and they're accustomed to me over delivering, they're going to expect that this is probably going to be worth $2,000, right? Versus $500 that they're going to pay. So once we're establishing authority, which that's with the educational post, making sure you know what you're talking about, then at what point do you feel comfortable selling, right? Because you're doing all this free stuff, free here, free there, free everywhere, right? And now you're saying, I want you to pay for it now, because that was my struggle too, because YouTube is free.
Yeah.
I'm giving a lot on YouTube.
Yes, you do.
Transition me to, can you give me a little money? Like, how do you do that?
Oh, that is it's so hard to figure out when, because it's not really a timetable, to be honest with you. It's not. It really just depends on what all you have already provided. And so, if you built it to a certain level to where people are starting to come to you and asking you questions, and it's not just one or two, three, four, five, six people, you're in like the double digits, the triple digits, and they're
Mhm.
asking you about how do you do this? What do you do with this? And da 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 da.
True.
That's when you kind of know, okay, so I've built it to where people trust me to
Mhm.
come to me. So it's not really a month, or it's not really a certain time frame. It's just you get that sense to where it's like, all right, so it's time for me to step out and I can start teaching the class. Now I
Mhm.
will say teaching is not for everybody. You know,
It's not transferring. Like, you got to have that ability to transfer knowledge, right? And I,
you
I always
do.
say that that is a skill set, because yes, I'm an attorney, but if I have a conversation with you about anything, I'm communicating it on a level that you're going to understand versus me attempting to
Exactly.
talk over your head with all of this legalese. There is
Exactly.
one question from Mastermind. It says, can you please explain why we must over deliver? When will we ever get to the point when we charge what it's worth? You can go
So
first, and then I'll give my response.
okay. And so it's levels to it, and what a lot of people may not understand is that you charging what you're worth is does not always have to happen at the beginning. There's a bunch of stages in your business and a bunch of services to where when that person finally gets to that level, then you can charge what you're worth, because the stage you need those stages, because everybody is not going to be on the same level in their business. And so if you only have services that are like $1,000, $500, in the high five figures or low four figures or in the high three figures, you're not going to get the other clients that are just starting out, you know. And so you want to make sure that you can accommodate them as well as accommodate those that are after them. And so you want to make sure that those you have an array of services that are either do it yourself or done for you. And in doing so, those DIY clients, because they know you, they like you, and they trust you on multiple levels, when they do get to that next level to where they can't afford you, then they come to you first instead of going to other people. So it's not really about over delivering per se, but you're going to give them enough to actually understand what you're actually talking about, to understand how they're supposed to do whatever you're covering. And I'll just give you an example. So my business formation class is like, it was initially $50, which I've had my girlfriends tell me all the time, you crazy because you undercharged for it. It was initially like $50. They said it should have been 100 and some change, but now it's like $10 because all of my classes are $10. But the business formation class actually went into how to set up an LLC the proper way, like every single step that you had to go through, and I walked you through it. How to set up a corporation and what's included in that. How to set up a partnership. How to set up a how to do the beginning stages of a nonprofit. And so it was definitely over delivered with that
Yeah.
one. But just because you give someone a playbook, that doesn't mean they know how to run the playbook. And
Mhm.
so I can literally tell you step by step on how to do something. But sometimes you either just don't want to do it, or you still don't understand the smaller portions of it. And so you outsource it to other people. So it's not really about not charging your worth or over delivering. It's just more so of making sure that you're providing your clients what they're asking you at a reasonable price, because everybody is not going to be able to afford you at every step in their process.
And then
Okay.
I think also, when you're thinking about, especially making money online, right? You're probably, you have a digital product. And when you think about charging your worth, that's what you think that it's worth. You have to know your ideal client. You have to know what would your client deem to be the worth of that, right? Because if I have a client and my clients might not think that my ebook is worth $25, right? And even with my second book, it's $47. It's 130 pages. It's a workbook. It literally takes them, you can get a grant. With this book, there's sample answers, there's quizzes. It was a lot of work. And someone else might charge well over $100 for that. But then I also know my consultation fee is $250. So you can go and get this book for $47, which is what I probably would talk to you about anyways at that $250. So they're going to see that, okay, there's value added here. It's a nominal cost, but then it's worth it to them. So I'm always thinking about, whenever I'm making anything, I'm never thinking about self. I'm always thinking about my client. Like, will my client think this is worth it? Will my client think that I'm, giving them value? Will my client think that I'm over delivering? And it goes back to establishing that authority and establishing that trust. Because now I have, 5-star reviews on my website, and then I rank on Google for certain things. So if somebody looks up small business grants, or somebody looks up, lawyer, legal contracts, I'm going to pop up somewhere, and then they're going to go to the website, see the reviews, and they're going to blindly buy it, because I have folks I can tell because they're not using a coupon. So they're blindly buying it based off of these reviews. So you always, always, always want to think about your client first. Because I feel like I should get more money too. $20 more. I feel like I should be getting money hand over fist, but I also understand that it's a journey, right? Because I paid $2,000 for a course. And it's a journey for me to get to that place where I'm charging $2,000 for a course. But this individual has been established for, I don't know, 15 years, made $22 million. So I think it's making sure, again, that you put your client first. And then I look at it like this. So my ebook, I don't know, I think I've sold close to 200 copies of my first one. And I look at it like this. But this is how I process it. I'm like, okay, it took me like 3 months collectively, like editing, all that good stuff. I put on the website, it's a PDF. And I think about the fact that they're just downloading the same thing over and over again. So yes, I can say, oh, it's worth $100. But in actuality, I'm like, it's the same document getting printed over and over again. And someone's paying $20 to $25 for that book, depending on, which one they're purchasing and if they have a coupon. And then they're paying $47 for this other one. So I only had to do the work one time.
That part.
And it's evergreen, right? So, and I think even when I get my courses out there, that's how I'm thinking about it. Online money is completely different than me doing one-to-one consultations with people. So I'm a little bit less focused on it's worth more because I did it one time. Like the first book, I did that a year ago and people still buying it, right? Exactly. So I think thinking about it like that. And then the next question for you, Dorcas, is you picked an arbitrary number of $10. If you were to do it over again, would you pick a different number?
I'm actually doing it over again.
Number.
That's a good question. No, I mean, there's still going to be low cost. It's not going to be anything astronomical, because the whole goal is so that it's easily accessible and it's a reasonable price across the board. So I'm gonna just go back to the original price of $49.95.
Okay. Now, will you still have your $10 classes?
I will.
$49.95.
I will to a certain extent. I am getting ready to close the $10 courses out only because some of the information that I shared, it does change every year or every couple of years. So it's the thing about the business and finance world, it's always changing. Like it's just like the BOI that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no information about the BOI in any of the classes.
Right.
And so, yes, those will be slowly dwindling out. And then I will have new classes coming out this year, actually starting next month. But yeah, they'll be $49.95. They will be, how do I want to say this? They'll still be very intense. There'll
Mm-hmm.
still be lots of fun because I like to have a lot of fun in my classes. I don't like no boring classes.
Yeah.
I don't like being lectured and none of that. So they will be very exciting classes. I will be sharing a lot of information, but they will be $49.95, and I will have a membership based as well. But yeah, they'll still be low cost because I truly believe, as a teacher and instructor at heart, I want to make sure that whenever people do get into the business world, that they're in it and they are knowledgeable on the information that they're receiving or what they have to do. So yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
So do you think with that, so if you're not, I don't know if I heard you correctly, are you not going to have $10 classes, period, moving forward?
I may potentially, so my $10 classes will be closing out on May 1st.
What's today? Today is the 23rd.
April the
I got a few
23rd.
days.
They are open for purchase. But yeah, they will be closing out on May 1st. I will start my new classes at the end of May. It will be a complete school called Elevation 360, and it'll be a school for entrepreneurship. So I'm pulling it away because it was a huge success. I am pulling it away from my actual business platform and creating its own school of entrepreneurship. And the reason it's called Elevation 360 is because we are literally going to talk about the whole 360 of being an entrepreneur, between mindset, finances, marketing, branding, the legal aspects of everything. So yeah.
So when you were doing your $10 classes,
Mm-hmm.
did that lead to other business or money inside of your business?
Absolutely. And that's why I say it's stages to everything. It absolutely led to additional income. So oh my God, it led to every direction.
What's some examples?
Look, so I ended up starting, so the $10 classes created mentees. So I do have mentees. I had mentees before, but it created more mentees because they were able to actually see the knowledge that I did have. I created a 911 tax support hotline from it because I did see that there were a lot of tax professionals and individuals that needed assistance when it came to taxes, that they probably didn't want to work with a tax professional. So they just wanted a hotline that they could just call whenever. I created that from it. That was amazing. This year, I helped over about 20 to 30 people on that support hotline throughout the entire tax season and actually actively now. What else did it come to? A lot of one-on-one consultations, and my consultations range from $97 to $197 an hour. Well, 30 minutes to an hour. And so it led to a lot more income. So yeah. So yeah, when you talk about charging your worth, it's really, like you said, I created that class literally in one night, and none of my classes are less than an hour. And so I created that class. We were all having fun. We were all giggling. We did pajama nights, wine nights, and it was just all fun. And we did it in one night. That was it. That was all. And then I was able to sell it. So it was no reason for me to not be able to do it for $10. I definitely had a return on my investment.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to lift up, right? You did that in an hour, right? And who knows, 6 figures,
the back end, yeah.
6 figures an hour, I'll take it. But I think that's something to think about too, right? Because when you do one-on-one, you can't make as much if I take that time and then create a product, and then from there we make it evergreen. And exactly. I think anyone, if you're teaching anything, record it. If you need to edit it and chop it up, and then put it on your website and sell it, right? Sell it for a discounted price, less than whatever it was that you were charging when it was live. But there's just so many different ways for you to make money in this digital world now that we just got to take advantage of it. You know, you have your ebooks, you have your consultations, you have, and I mean, you can do templates. I don't know what everyone's expertise is that's watching. If you want to put that in the chat, that'd be helpful too. But those are things you can think of because people buy templates, I feel like all day, every day.
They do.
And that's something that's low cost. You know, do that for $5. And now you can easily make money on this one document that might have taken you an hour or 2 hours, depending on, you know, how techy you are in order to be able to do this. So I think it's more so getting out of the mindset of it was $10 and I want to charge, you know, $500 because we're all going to get there where we're charging the $500, the $1,000, the $2,000. But when we're going back to strategy, as far as, you know, social media, what if someone is like, well, I don't really want to be on social media? Because I'm going to tell you, before I was doing this online business, I would take 2-3 year hiatus off of social media and then pop back on. So this is a challenge to try to, like, you know, post something every day and all of that. What are some recommendations you would have for individuals that don't want to, you know, go live and be on camera, and how do you get past all of that to then recognize the pot of gold on the other side?
So, I mean, it's two types of brands. You can have a faceless brand, kind of like Walmart. They don't have a face, an actual person to it. Or you can have a face brand, a brand with a face, which is what I have. With the era that we're in, a brand with a face will sell quicker than a faceless brand. And that's only because of the know, like, and trust aspect. Because when you come out with the faceless brand, they have to know, like, and trust what you're offering. And a lot of people don't actually see an individual before they actually purchase from that individual. But you can have both. You can have either one. Because you'll just have to work harder with the faceless brand. You'll still have to be on social media, but you don't have to be the individual that's on social media. So you're just in the back end, kind of like typing up the social media posts and posting them. You can outsource social media posting through a social media marketer. You can do like a mascot type thing to where Tony the Tiger with cereal. So it's faceless, but they have Tony the Tiger as their mascot for Frosted Flakes. And so it's different concepts that you can go about in order to create that brand and to build that know, like, and trust factor.
Okay, so once we've already talked about, they're going to build their trust, they're going to do all of these things, and then they're going to strategize ways to get people to their websites. At what point do you just completely walk away from? Because I think you're still doing consultations and mentorship. Is that a space where you're like, I want to stop doing that because I'm going to go all in on digital?
I personally will never do that because I'm a very personable person. And so I like being in the midst of everything. Plus, I'm nosy.
I can be nosy, but not in the mix.
I am nosy. So I will probably always do consultations. I will probably always do mentorship and trainings and teaching. But really, if I do anything, my digital products, because I am the face of it already, I will continue to be the face of the brand, but it'll still be quote unquote faceless, as in I won't be actively participating in it unless I'm instructing a course. And so what I'm leaning more towards is more so of the public figure type person. So doing more so of a personal brand and going out and speaking at different events and stuff like that. So that's what I'm leaning towards, because I do like to be out and about. And
Now, what are some final tips? And if you all have questions, because we wanted to keep it at an hour, so I'm keeping my promise of that. What are some other tips that you would give individuals that want to get started selling digital products or doing anything online to make money. But I think clearly people are here like, how did she get a $10 class to take her to six figures?
So, few things. I'll give you a few tips. Stop thinking about that one number and start thinking about it as a whole. Because when people hear, ooh, $10, $5, they think about, oh, I can buy multiple instead of just one. So think about going into the Dollar Tree. Think about going into Five and Below.
You're
never going to go into either one of those stores and buy one thing because of that price. And so think of it like that. It is a business strategy to where even though you are creating it reasonable, it's reasonable so that they can purchase more if they need to purchase more. So it's never going to be, I'm gonna just purchase one class, that's it, that's all. They're either going to purchase that one class and then come back, or purchase them all. And then you can do a bundle deal. So I have a bundle deal as well, where you can get all classes for a set price at a discounted price on top of the $10 discount. So yeah.
Wait a minute, say that again. Wait a minute now.
Yes. So I do have a bundle deal. That bundle deal works phenomenal. So I do have a bundle to where you can literally get all 16 classes for only $100, which is less than the $10 a class. Don't do big.
And that ends on May the 1st.
That ends on May the 1st. Yes. So that is literally all 16 classes for $100, and it was very, very lucrative as well. But yeah, whenever you're thinking about doing anything business, anything digital, make sure you're doing something that you love doing, that you're passionate about, and that you're knowledgeable on. That way it doesn't feel like it's a chore for you to do, or a chore for you to explain, or that you just can't explain it because you ain't never did it. It makes it so much easier to market. It makes it so much easier to talk about. It makes it so much easier to actually scale on. So for example, a lot of people were selling Airbnb ebooks, but ain't nobody did an Airbnb before. They all took what they heard and then ran with it. And so if you can't scale that because you don't know nothing about it, whereas if, let's just say, for instance, let's talk about cannabis. Can I say cannabis on here?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta make sure. Okay, so let's just
say they don't care about that word.
All right, good. So it's like you know, if you know about cannabis, you know that is huge now. You know what states allow it, what states don't allow it.
Right.
If you know all of that, elaborate on that. Create an ebook on that. Create a class on that. How to open a cannabis business in your state. Like a lot of people want to get into it, but they don't know how to get into it. Matter of fact, you can market it. Yes, you can market it to previous Lord, I forgot the word. Previous people that were previously in prison or in jail for doing this type of thing. And instead of going out and doing it again, they can actually turn it into an actual business. So it's plenty of strategies out there that you can use, or things that you can do in order to create those digital products.
Yeah, and I think just figuring out the gap in the market. And then a question is, what are y'all thoughts on a subscription model? I will say, so I don't have a subscription, but I do have a membership, which people pay the same amount. It's either $10, $15, $20. And each level, I guess it is a subscription. Yeah. Each level, they get something different. The only challenge I would say with the subscription is you're not guaranteed the same amount of money every month with that. And for me right now, it is kind of difficult because one of the levels, they get a live call every month, and I might just remove that level period. But I do think that's a way, again. So my $10 one, I know one or two people at least have been in there for the whole 2 years that I've had it, because it's kind of like set it and forget it. And it's such a low dollar amount that they're not even going to remember that they're paying that $10 because it's less than Netflix now. So I definitely think if you have something of value to offer, I would do a subscription. But I will say now with the subscription, I don't know if I necessarily over deliver because it's more of a, I'm going to call it an information bank. So I literally just post a ton of grants in there. I don't do walkthroughs. So on YouTube, I do the walkthrough. This is more so, I don't want to wait until Thursday to get a grant. I want you to post grants in there. And then I'll post last minute grants where I found out about it and it's not enough time for me to do a video. So then that way they're in that group. But then also I do different articles in there for entrepreneurs. I do free cohorts that's across the country. So if you want to get mentorship, it gives them, I think it levels them up a little bit more, right? Because they're getting that foundation to become an entrepreneur on top of getting access to these grants that are not on YouTube. But I do think that one, don't overextend yourself with the subscription model because you want to have your product. But then also what I do in there is with my products, they get discounts. So if my book, like my book was 40, it was 47 when it came out. And then they were able to get it for like $32 because they were already a member. And then I do discounts with the email list as well. That's a whole nother topic, making sure that you have your email list. But Dorcas, your points for that one. So what are your thoughts on subscription?
So my thoughts,
I think, right?
Huh?
Did you have a subscription and membership?
I did. I actually still have a couple of them. So I agree. With subscriptions, you have to be careful about over delivering only because the subscription base is just continuous. And so if you over deliver every single month, you are eventually going to be exhausted. And so you have to set it like with yours, you have levels. I don't have levels in this one. I will have in my next one. But with the subscription, you want to make sure that your boundaries are set. You know exactly what they're getting. And like you were saying, subscriptions change every single month. It is not, it's not like, okay, so I'm gonna have 50 people this month, and then I'm gonna have 20, and I'm gonna have 50 people next month. And it's just gonna keep increasing. That's not how it works. Because people will cancel their subscription if they feel like they don't need it anymore, if they're changing their budget around, whatever the case may be. I do actually like the subscription model only because it's kind of like set and go.
Yeah,
I like that aspect of it. But as far as just only doing that, I personally wouldn't just only do subscription based.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't only do it, but I do going back to what you said as far as managing expectations, because when I first started my subscription 2 years ago, and it was $10, so I was, tossing the grants in there, wasn't going to be a walkthrough, nothing. And some of the folks that canceled was like, well, I thought you were going to be in there more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you thought I was going to be in there for $10 more? Yeah. That to me, right? So there was no alignment. But what I realized was I needed to make my message more clear. My message wasn't clearly because that was their expectation. So now what I've started doing, because they typically are funneled through YouTube, I will say, if you would like to support the channel so I can continue to provide these resources free of charge on YouTube, come on over to the Patreon. Because at first I was just saying, we have grants in there. I was telling them what was in there, and they thought that included me being like active, answering questions and doing all of that, versus now that I say, this is just if you want to support the channel, like they have those buy a cup of coffee websites, things like that. So I think the first thing you want to make sure before you do anything is making sure that your message is clear. Yes. Very upset when they thought she charged $250 an hour and now I just only got to pay $10, and I was nowhere to be found inside of that group as far as providing what they were looking for. But I think it's a good starting point though, for sure.
It is. It's that's a really good starting point. But yeah, you definitely have to make yourself clear because if you don't, people
What
will
everything.
expect a lot more, and
Mm-hmm.
then it kind of it becomes kind of like a big ball of miscommunication. I can't even
Mm-hmm.
say that, but yeah, a big ball of
Yeah.
miscommunication. So definitely be clear whenever you set up your subscriptions. Make sure your terms and conditions are clear with your
Mm-hmm.
subscriptions. Include everything that is included in the subscription. So, for example, my class subscription that I did have, it included all classes that were available. It didn't include in-person events, but it included all
Mm-hmm.
classes at a discounted rate. This is when my classes were $49.95 each. And I was doing maybe like two, no, how many classes? I think I was doing like 4 classes a month. And so they got a discounted rate to attend all of the classes, but they had to stay on the subscription. Figured out very quickly that didn't work, but I went ahead and I still upheld my end of the deal, um, because I put it out there, you know. So if I put it out there, then I can't take it back.
Okay, so I'm so behind on technology. Can you see this question?
I can see it now.
Lord. Next time I'm gonna have this is my first time using it, so but I don't know how to remove it. Oh, there we go. I think I was just look at that. Sorry,
Okay.
y'all. But the one thing I will want to say when we go back to, the folks who aren't happy, digital marketing and online, you have to be so careful because your reputation can be tainted by one viral post. And I say all of that to say that to be successful online, and I know people be like, I don't need to be humble. You're gonna have to be a little humble, right? Because even like with my YouTube, I can count on one hand how many times somebody has said something not so nice. And either I'll delete it or I'll respond, positively because you're the face and
Yep.
you are setting the tone. And if everyone comes to my comments and they see, 300 positive comments and then one negative is not going to really affect anything.
Nope.
But that's the one challenge with being online and selling online, right? Because people do not support businesses. People support people.
People.
Because I can go name my channel something completely different. And if somebody likes me, they still gonna sit on that channel and support the channel. They're gonna buy a book. They're gonna do all of those things because they're following the individual. They're not following the business name. So that's something to really, really, really think about because I know because I wish this whole yelling at your client marketing thing like just disappear. The little
I
negative.
know what you're talking about, but girl, no,
I know you know what I'm talking about.
I
It's
know
just
exactly
like
what you're talking about.
you making me feel bad. So no, I don't want to go work with you. Like I want somebody
Exactly.
to lift me up a little bit. So definitely thinking about that as well. Now, do you have any other tips, tricks you want to give people? So right now we got, make sure you have your authority, make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you're all over social media. And I would also add, pick your platform, right?
Yes.
YouTube is clearly mine, but then also Facebook. I do very
Mm-hmm.
well on Facebook versus Instagram and TikTok. Do
Yep.
not try to do,
All of
however many,
them.
so many platforms now. Master one and then trickle down to the next one because my Facebook actually is what got my YouTube channel to where it's at because I had Facebook first and I had that group.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now they both essentially talk to each other. And I do
Perfect.
Instagram and TikTok a little bit, but it's not giving what I need
Mm-hmm.
to give. But definitely do that first. And then once you establish authority, as Dorcas said, and then I didn't sell anything for a year. I wanted to really just focus on establishing myself in my niche, building that trust with individuals, as you said, providing free knowledge. I tell everybody, you need to get new folks while they new, because they giving you
Yeah.
everything for free. Once they get, established, You got to pay. Because I know
Exactly.
I don't do as much for free anymore. But when I first started, I was on free
Ooh, it was
consultation.
free everywhere.
It was just like free. You sure, no problem. Now, please visit our website to book a consultation. So definitely do that, but you're gonna have to do that sweat equity. It sucks a little bit because you're like, I don't want to have to do anything for free, but I'm telling you that word of mouth. Once they're like, oh, I talked to her and she said this, and you'll be good to go.
Exactly. And I agree. It's when it comes to the social media platforms. Like I said, I don't know the rest of them, but I'm really good at Facebook. I do TikTok every now and again. I'll throw a video up on there. Those do really good on them because I try to hit the major topics. But yeah, you have to first learn your platform, learn the best platform for you. Facebook is mine also, and just roll from there. Because when you start spreading yourself too thin on all of these social media platforms, then you just get stressed out, you get tired, and you just no longer want to do it. So don't do that. As far as the personal brand, I'm off of personal branding. Like I said, I'm a very personable person. So I'm really big on personable brands, and they will, like you said, once you build that authority, that no like and trust factor, they'll pretty much follow you wherever you go because they know who you are. So they don't have any issue with following you or referring you for anything that you do. And that's going to be big whenever if you become a serial entrepreneur like myself and you build out multiple brands. You're going to need people to know who you are so that you can have that authority over everything already. And that way they know, all right, so she knows what she's talking about in this sector, that sector, and that sector. So I'm going to just go ahead and support her wherever she goes. If it's something that she actually knows or he knows. Those are my main two things. Like I said, the main thing for me, and I tell all of my clients, don't just start something for the money. I know it really sounds good.
What I say, please don't, because you're not gonna keep doing it. You're gonna stop. When I say you're going to stop, you're going to stop. And whenever, because I'm gonna do a YouTube course for folks, and because I got my monetization in 3 months versus I guess it takes people years or something. I didn't know what I was doing when I came to YouTube. And I'll go into more detail, but different niches make different dollar amounts, all of that stuff. I literally hopped on YouTube, didn't know how to record, didn't know how to edit, didn't know what a thumbnail was, didn't know what a niche was, didn't know what evergreen meant. I didn't know anything, but I knew that I wanted to talk about grants because people were getting scammed. Lo and behold, the niche that I picked is like the top paying one. But had I went in like, oh, I want to make money, so let me do this, I would have never continued to do it. So please, please, please follow your passion, whatever that is, because you can end up with brand deals, affiliate marketing, all types of other ways to make money, and you'll be doing something that you love versus feeling like you're still an employee, because the whole goal is generational wealth. Be your own boss. And if I'm doing something that I want to do, now the viewers are my boss. And I'm not even interested in that. And then there's another question, since I know how to put them up right now. Differentiating my audience from those who really.
So from that, what I would say is you have to create your own target audience and talk to them. And so whenever you create that target audience, you are going to literally figure out exactly what they like, whether they like Target or Walmart, whether they like to eat McDonald's or they like to go out to Ruth Chris, whether they like whether they're more of like a gothic type photography type thing, or if they are more bubbly and more colorful and they like more exciting things. And so whenever you create that target audience, you're always going to talk to that target audience. And that takes some time to differentiate. But whenever you create that target audience, that's who you're going to talk to. You're still going to get general clients coming to you. That's just something that's just going to happen. But it's really up to you as to whether you're going to take those clients on or you're going to leave those clients where they're at. Because you can always do an application process at the beginning that'll be like, hey, I'm going to need you to complete this to see if you are a good fit for my business. And just move from there.
Okay. But then also, you say those who I like to target, are those individuals interested in what you're selling? Because exactly. When I think about, I post grants on YouTube. I post $10,000 grant, $25,000 grant, $50,000 grant. Millionaire, I would love to target a millionaire because then maybe they'll put some money in my pocket. My $10,000 grant, right? So it's figuring out who wants what I'm selling, and then how do I market to those individuals? Because it doesn't really matter if they rock with you versus those who you like to target, because you're going to have to like drill down, and you can do market research. I don't know if you post on social media, I'm not sure of any of those things, but you can do surveys on social media. You can just do random informational posts and see who comments on those posts. If you do a survey to say, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z course, what's some stuff that you would like for me to put in there? Or is this something that you would be interested in? Or create some type of, special deal that's through your email list. And then folks will sign up. So you have to figure out who's going to come versus who you would like to come, because we're always working for the client. And you have to think about the client first. And for myself with YouTube, that's what they're going to teach you over and over again. Don't worry about your thumbnail. Don't worry about your title. Yes, all that is important, but what is going to make someone click? Because I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, this title was amazing. This thumbnail is awesome. They don't want to see that.
They don't care about that.
They don't care about that. Like, I know, like if I'm smiling on my photo on YouTube and I think it looks cute, I'm like, oh, I'm cute, I'm smiling. They're not cute because they don't like smiling pictures for whatever reason. And you're laughing, but they don't. Like when I tell you,
really,
they don't. So that's one of the things. It's like you little tips and tricks I'll talk about in the class, but those are the things that you learn, because I'm picking the picture based off of I look the best in this picture, so I like it. No, it's not about me. It's about them, and they don't like it. Because I have a viral video right now. It's at like almost 40,000 views. I'm not smiling. I'm looking just, and you see my eyes or whatever, but that's you see my eyes. When I look at all of my viral videos, I'm not smiling at any of them. I'm not smiling at any of those videos. So I can't smile on my thumbnail, That's what it is, Hey, Miss Deborah from Tennessee. I mean, if you have any questions, because we about to be off of here. We've been on for a little bit. I know some people joined. But I know, but yeah, I think that's some good tips for your $10 class. I think definitely you got to be on social media. You got to. Oh, with your Google, did you set up your Google? Because you said your Google keyword. Who did you select your keyword?
Yeah. So that's another thing. I've been building websites since I was like 18.
I like
so.
Thank you, Miss Deb. Well, I didn't learn this at the 11th hour. Now I want to click on everything.
Okay. So yeah, I use keywords. So I set up my Google business page. And when I set up my Google business page, it asks like, what do you do? And then I list out everything that I do, all of the services that I do. On top of that, Google Business also allows you to post on Google Business as well. So any services that you offer, any classes that you offer, any events that you offer, you can post on Google Business. Another thing is that I connected my Google Business page to my website.
Yes.
And so they're both talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So any keywords that I have on my website automatically feed through to Google Business,
Mm-hmm.
to my SEO and to my keywords. And then I have Wix also. And so on Wix, if I need to update anything, they automatically come in and say, hey, we feel like these keywords work better for your website. So I switch them around. You know, I ain't really all that tech. So, okay,
Mm-hmm.
let's try this out.
Let's try it and see if I'm right. You know, because I
So,
got a few little clicks on my blog. I was like, okay, Google.
yeah. So as long as they're talking to each other, that's going to be the key. So whenever I post new things on my site, whenever I switch things around, whenever I create new pages, all of that stuff creates more of a pool of different keywords that Google can pull from.
Okay. Well, okay, y'all. Do y'all have any more questions? We done went overtime. So, and I'm a little old lady, almost my bedtime. I'm asleep. By 9:30, I am in La La Land.
And look, I'm trying to get there.
I'll be knocked out because I get up super early. I go to the gym. So I get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. So right now, I'm like,
it's the wind down time.
I'm gonna be like, watch. As soon as we finish, I'll be knocked out. Well, I appreciate all of this information, and we'll figure out a way to, connect. And if anybody is watching, if you have, something that you're doing that's passive income and you would like to be interviewed, please let me know. My website is right. I don't know if y'all can see me pointing to stuff because on YouTube you can. So this is new to me, but it's www.longevitybc.com. But then my email is hello@longevity. I'm putting it in the chat. bc.com. Okay. See, it's saying that I'm typing from. I'll figure that out. Do you have any final word?
No, really, just create that know, like, and trust factor. Truthfully, in business, once you create that know, like, and trust factor, honey, you'll go all the way. Like, it's in between that and being passionate about what you do. Those two factors are what have kept me and have taken me to the point of where I can scale and I can actually be happy and enjoy what I actually do. So that's all I got to say, y'all.
What is Dorothy's website?
So my website is, I wonder if I could change it.
I'm gonna type it in the chat though too.
Okay, so it's www.toptierfbs, F as in Frank, B as in boy, S as in Sam.com.
Okay, so I just put it in there.
Thank you.
You are quite welcome. I do like this because there's not a delay. When I do Zoom to YouTube, it's a delay, like a couple seconds or something like that when people are typing. All right. Well, I thank y'all for watching. We are about to log off because I'm about to go to sleep.
I thank you for having me back.
Thank you for coming. We have to reconnect. Maybe
right.
I get to 50,000 subscribers. Definitely at 100,000.
Oh yes.
We have to get to 50 real quick. So once we do that, we will come back with something. We can circle back once your $50 class is launched and stuff like that will be probably good too.
All right, that sounds like a plan to me.
All right, y'all. See y'all next time.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you feeling it?